The GCF quiz is really short. It's just 2 questions, and it's just like these 2 questions. So I'm going to just go over these quickly just to give you one final review. So in both questions, I'm asked to factor out the GCF. Okay, now I do this in a few different steps. So first, I'm going to look at this first problem, and I'm going to look just at the numbers 6, 8, and 10. How can I find the GCF of these numbers? You might have gotten to the point where you're good enough at this where you can just kind of look at those numbers and you think, and it just pops into your head, which is great. But the strategy that kind of always works is if you start with a smaller number and you come up with what are the factors of this number, and so you start with 1, you say, okay, 1 times 6, does it divide by 2? Oh yeah, it does divide by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And so then you have the factors of this smallest number. Why do the smallest number? Because it probably has the least number of factors, right? So it just makes sense to start with the smallest. And then you kind of go through these factors and say, okay, is 6 a factor of 8 and 10? No, I can't multiply 6 and get 8, so no. Is 3 a factor of 8 and 10? Nope. And notice I'm starting at the bottom because I'm looking for the largest common factor. Okay, like I can always, 1 is always a common factor, so don't start at the smallest amount. You're going to start at the largest one. How about 2? Can I multiply 2 and get 8? Yeah, 2 times 4 is 8. What about 10? Yeah, 2 times 5 is 10. So 2 is the common factor, and it's the largest common factor. How do I know? Because I started with the largest factor of 6, and then I went down, and so 2 must be the largest. So the GCF here is 2 of the numbers. And then I take a look at my variables, and I notice, okay, there's 3 n's right here, and there's 2 n's right here, and there's 1 n right here. And so what do they all have in common? What can I sort of observe in each of these? And I notice, okay, well, there's an n here, there's an n here, and there's an n here. So each of them have an n. Can I highlight another n? No, I can't because there's not another n over here. I'm all out of n's. So what do they have in common? They have 1 n in common. So my GCF is 2n. So once I have that information, I take my 2n, okay, and notice I'm including both the 2 and the n, and I open up my big old set of parentheses here. And now what I want is I want to figure out, I'm going to unmultiply, right? So I want to figure out what am I going to put in these parentheses so that when I distribute this 2n, that I end up getting this. That's my goal, okay? And here's the deal. You just do it piece by piece, okay? You don't need to do it all at once. So let's start with 2n times what will get me 8n to the third. Right, we're doing one term at a time. So 2 times what is 8? 2 times 4 is 8. And here I have 1n, and I want to have 3 n's. So if I'm already multiplying 1n and I want to be multiplying 3 n's, I need 2 more, right? Because if I'm multiplying 1, and then I multiply 2 more, 2, 3. So I'm going to multiply n squared. So let's just double check, right? 2 times 4 is 8, and n times n squared is n to the third. Perfect. So I have 8n to the third. Now, next question, 2n times what is negative 6n? So the first thing I notice is it's negative, so I'm going to put a negative sign, right? Because positive times negative is going to be that negative 6. 2 times what is 6? 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, and then here, this is 2 n's being multiplied, right? This is n times n. So here I have 1 n here, and so I need another n here on my 3, so that when I multiply, I get 2 times 3 is 6, and n times n is n squared, negative 6n squared. Perfect. And my last one, 2n times what? Times what mystery number gets me 10n? So 2 times 5, positive 5, gets me 10. And since I already have an n right here, and I just want there to be one n, I don't add any n to that 5. Because if I put an n here, right, then there'll be 2 n's, and I don't want that. So this is my answer. This is what you would write in the factored form answer box. Okay, and make sure that you include the GCF in your answer. Okay, let's do one more. Looking at number 2, what is the GCF of 20 and 15? So again, maybe it pops into your head, that's great. If it doesn't, 15 is a smaller number here, so I think, okay, 1 times 15, 2, no, doesn't divide by 2. What about 3? Yeah, 3 times 5. About 4, no. Okay, good, so I have all the factors. So now I'm going to start at 15. Okay, is 15 a factor of 20? No, I can't multiply 15 and get 20. What about 5? Oh yeah, 5 is a factor of 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So my GCF is 5. And notice here, because I don't have a variable right here on the 15, there's no variable that's in common, right? There's an a over here and there's not an a over here. So they don't have anything in common. They don't share any variable. So the GCF is just 5 with no a. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my parentheses. And so my first step here is 5 times what gets me 20a. So 5 times 4 gets me 20. And since it's 20a, I want to do 4a. 5 times 4a is 20a. And 5 times what is 15? 5 times what is 15? 5 times 3 is 15. And in this problem, everything's positive, so this is going to be positive. And that's it. This is exactly what you're going to do on the quiz. Feel free to come back to this video and reference it if that's helpful to you.